So let's start with the advanced commands, and as you can see over here, the first is a spline. Spline is a curved line, so this is very good for creating different graphs where you can just click on certain points and you can show how it is moving, or you can use it to create uh, asymmetrical shapes, and these are very good for creating certain drawings and certain shapes. And again, these will work something like a polyline, which means the ends are also intact, and it also has certain options of modifying them. So you can just modify the line in a very different way, in a very curvy, fixy way, and that is very good, especially if you want to create very abstract objects, very non-fixed objects. Similarly, you also have another option for spline CV, which is again in the spline, but as you can see, it is more into it's like a circumscribed circle. So it's inside a existing circle, and that's how it will be. So that's the big difference between both of them. Just the tangents, how it is going, how the shape is being created. Then you have the line construction line, and this is one of my favorite command because this gives very good utilization, especially if you want to create something which is which will keep going, like for example streets and roads and things like these. You can use the command line also for making something concentric, also for making something copying certain things in a certain fashion, aligning the different names, different texts. All of these can be utilized with the command line. This is a double-sided command line, and this is a single-sided, which is called array. So as you can see, the other things are limited. This goes across the complete drawing. So the other lines are generally in one area. These lines go across the drawing all the way from end to end. I utilize it to create walls, for example, for the buildings, and then I will use the trim command to close everything. And also it is what I use to align texts, for example. Then the next command is multiple points, where we are just creating points, and this will help to divide it, to make certain points with just pinholes. So this is very good in terms of aligning the drawing. For example, if you already have points, especially for fabrication, this is what is used to align certain objects with in the production process with the CNC machines and all. And then we have the divide, where we are creating gaps in certain objects or certain line segment. And then there is something which is measure. So at a certain point of the block, it will create. So let's go with divide first, and let's select our object. Let's put the number of segments. I will just go with 2. So one second, actually show that with the line segment. So here I need to make divide, select object to divide, number of segments, let's go with 5, and spacebar. So this is now divided into 5 segments, as you can see over here. So it's divided into 5 segments. Here, see, those are the 4 points in between the 5 segments. So that's like dividing point. So now I can draw a line from the 5th point. So if I want to like divide it at 1 by 5, this is how it will be. Let me select, it's called a node here. So now I can, so this is 1/5 of the line, and this is the other 4 by 5. So that's how we can utilize the divide command. Basically it just creates points of division. So if I want to divide it into 5 points, which is what we did over here, we'll just create it like this. Then the next command is measure. Same, we can just select this one. Requires numeric distance, so we'll go with, so here if you can see, it is creating 2 points with a specific distance, and this one is good for creating lines with specific distance. So for example, you want to not divide it into equidistant points, but divide the line or the area into specific points with specific distance. This is what it will be. And in both the cases, in both the commands, as you are seeing, you will just get points. So this is good commands for dividing your lines, your objects also. I just move this one. Okay, so for moving we are using the M command. As you can see, it is also having certain but we'll come to the commands over here, modify. Moving on, we also have something called as a region, converts an object that is encloses an area into a region object. And then there is something called wipeout. So let's go ahead, let's create a region. So let's, this should be an enclosed area. So I'll just go with a simple object over here, and that's it. It's now a region. We can, the actual use of it, as you are seeing, it can combine multiple objects to create one region. We can test it out. We can just test it out on an abstract object, for example this one. Let's just select this. So now if you see, it's a region. Before they were all separate objects, now they are combined as a region. So here you can see, before it is just one line, now it is an object, a region. So now you can see it's a region because it's an enclosed area. Regions and objects are a bit similar, but their options, their utilization is very different. Wipeout is very simple. You're just clearing out things, that's it. So this is wipeout. Basically you don't want to show certain details about the drawing, you can just put a wipeout. So the objects will not be deleted, but they will not be shown. And then you can again, for example, create in this wipeout, make certain things over this, and this is very good. For example, if you want to show how things are working inside certain machines, for example, so you can wipe it out and then show more details inside, or you can also, it's also good to create more details upon the existing details by creating a wipeout of certain small area. Then we have the option called as 3D polyline. polyline with 3D options. We'll not go into this one right now because we are not going into 2D and 3D. Again, over here you have a spiral or a spring and a donut, filled circle, then again rectangular cloud. So this is something which is always utilized. You will always see clouds in drawings, and now they have actually created just the cloud option because this is very much used in revisions for any. So basically, if you just want someone to revise certain things for you, you just create a cloud over that area. Let me just go ahead and make it more simpler. Cloud, and these are just different options. Mostly you will just see rectangle. So if you just want to highlight someone to make some modification in certain area, you can just highlight it with the cloud, and mostly the cloud color will be red. So let me just go here and select red color. So this is how we'll be using the cloud option, different advanced commands. Just create a donut also. Specify outside diameter 1 meter. So that's what a donut is. It's just a filled circle. So it's not a single circle. It's not hash. It's a filled circle. So it already has all its commands together. So let me just one. Okay. Again, as you can see over here, it has a completely different philosophy around its utilization. So this is used for certain areas, which is very rare. For example, the washers and nuts, like this. So that's all the commands in draw command. And again, if you feel stuck anytime, just hover your mouse over it, and AutoCAD will itself give you how to utilize that specific command, which makes life so much easy. Hope you have enjoyed this. We will move on to the next ribbon, which is modify, and we'll see all the details over there.